All right, welcome back. It's so rapid, Don. We did tell you earlier on that we're going to be having so much conversation because it is that June 12th special. And of course, it is important for us to know how well we're fed in our nation's democracy. 25 years is no easy feat. How has it been so far? Now, I do know that sometimes we see stories on all of the media saying things relating to what is happening in the country. And then some persons might want to argue that it probably just started in the age of social media. I'm sure you agree with me, Ugochukwu.
Not entirely.
That it did not start now, or it started now because of social media.
Not exactly.
Anyway, I want to prove to you that it's not just about social media alone, because if you check papers of both old papers, it's almost like, for example, Salah is coming, right? And it's almost like every Salah or every Christmas or let's just say every festive period, there's always a particular headline which talks about how Nigerians are having it difficult. I'm going to prove to you that I'm right. Let's check out this paper. Have the first paper on the screen. Now, this is 2019. Ram sellers lament low patronage in Kaduna, Kwara. Let's move to the next one. This is 2016. The same low patronage, right? Let's move to the next one. This is 2014. The same low patronage. Let's move to the next one. This is 2021, the same low patronage. Let's now move to the next. If you go to far back as, this is, I think this should be, let's have it up to see the date of this particular one. But it's still the same low patronage. This is 2019, the same low patronage. Let's move to the next one. This is about, I think 4 years ago, thereabout. It has to say, there's even a paper of far back as 2006, 2004, the same low patronage. And then some people might want to ask you, this is 2017, the same low patronage.
Well, they would be lucky if they get any patronage at all.
I will show you that of 2000 and, I think 2004. I think we had that of 2004. Let's keep going again. I think this is 2014. There's a one far back as 2004 thereabout. This is no, not this one. There is a particular one about 2006, 2004, still the same low patronage. So some persons might want to say, okay, was it just social media that escalated things, or is it that generally we have these very problems? We had to bring this because I mean, it's Democracy Day, and some persons might want to say, why are we even celebrating democracy? And that is why the pertinent question is, how well have we fared so far? 25 years, a child of 25 years, I think is already due for marriage and about to start a family, if you agree with me. And to have our first conversation this morning, we have our guest in the studio, the person of Bala Rabe Rufai. He is the president, Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. He is also the past immediate national coordinator, Coalition Northern Groups. It will also interest you to know that he contested for Senate in the 2023 elections under ADC, that is African Democratic Congress. And I did ask him if he would love to contest again, but well, he's yet to answer me on that. Good morning. Good to have you this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Welcome to our studios.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's go straight into, I mean, it's Democracy Day, June 12th. What is as a Nigerian, what is the significance of June 12th?
Yeah. Well, before we go to the significance of June 12th, let's go to the significance of democracy. Democracy, a government, of the people and by the people, meaning people elect their leaders, to govern them. So June 12th is a struggle for democracy. It's an epitome example of, what democracy is all about. Because there was an elected president with one of the elections that has been seen as one of the, freest and fairest election so far in the history of this country. In an election devoid of too many writers, and opinion leaders, that has been devoid of tribal, religious, and sectional sentiments. But unfortunately, that leader has not been given his mandate. That is all about the June 12th. June 12th is about struggle of freedom. It's about the struggle of, people's will. It's about the struggle of, national unity. It's about so many struggles. So June 12th is a great day to all Nigerians and to Africans in general. So June 12th is a great day.
Okay, now looking at what democracy and June 12th is, it is 25 years of our democracy. I think that from where I stand, I would say that 25 years is no easy fit. And so this particular June 12th is not just the regular June 12th. One, we have a president who was also, like he said in his speech, was also part of those who fought for the struggle of democracy. And he's also part of those, he's now enjoying, this democracy. Do you see that as a major thing for us?
Well, like you have just given some shots about the ram selling, when there was always low, what did
patronage.
They say? Yeah, patronage. So I remember one of the campaign manifestos of the then president of June 12th, Alhaji M.K. Abiola. His main manifesto was, farewell to poverty and renewing hope, which is the same manifesto with Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. So it's always the same. June 12th is a struggle of, like I've said, freedom, is a struggle of democracy, to bring social, economic justice. When you look at it now, do we have social economic justice? So, the June 12th struggle is more of a dream. Still, it's more of a dream than a reality. And unfortunately, the president is one of the proponents of, June 12th. It's also unfortunate that some of his colleagues are also disappointed. Most of his colleagues that are, part of this struggle, some of them have claimed to have sacrificed their lives for this, but yet one of their own is now the president, but there is nothing to show. June 12th is all about, having people the freedom, the right, to come up with what they feel is right, for them. One of the doctrines of June 12th is about the sovereign national conference. The idea behind the Sovereign National Conference, was and is still to allow people to come together and decide what is good for them. What we have now, even though I'm not also one of the propagandist of, constitutional changes, I'm a propagandist of attitudinal change. Because whatever constitution you have, if you don't have the good attitude to follow the constitution to the letter, then nothing will change. I believe our problem is not constitutional, our problem is attitudinal. So, like I've said, one of the doctrines of the June 12th is about the Sovereign National Conference that will give people the liberty to sit and decide what they feel is good for them. It's one of the major disappointments of the, colleagues of the president. It's what they fought together, but now they feel the president is deviating. The president is more of building his own personal political empire, involving his family and friends,
Do you share the same sentiment?
Yes, from the look of things. From the look of things. And what option do I have than to share the same? These are the people that they have struggled together with the president, that they were sharing the same ideas. And now they are coming out to say that the president have dreamt from the doctrines of the June 12th. What options do I have? Remember, when the June 12th, about 31 years ago, I was literally around maybe 15, 16 years. So I was not aged enough to know all about June 12th. Well, these are the people that struggled. They were at, I think our age that time, they were around 40s when they did the struggle, you know. So they were there, they witnessed everything. And now they are coming out to say, like the Secretary of the Patriots, which are the major people that actually, you know, struggle for the June 12th. I've seen his confession that they are disappointed with the president. The chairman of NADECO, the United States chapter, I've seen it. He's also disappointed with the president. Most of the colleagues of the president are disappointed with him about what they believed to be the doctrines of June 12th and what they were jubilating that one of them is now the president, and it's time to now start actualizing the principles, the doctrines of the June 12th, and there is nothing to show.
Reaping the dividends of
The
democracy.
dividends of democracy.
So, from what you say, you obviously experienced a part of when we were under military rule. What would you say were some of the shortfalls you experienced at the time? What were your expectations from a democratic transition? From your understanding of democracy and all the elements that make up a democratic system, would you say that those expectations have been fulfilled, or is it more of your hopes were crushed, so to say?
If you can use another, if there's another word more than crushed, please use it.
Maybe disappointed.
All right. If it is heavier, then use
Bashed.
disappointment.
Your hope have been pieces.
Yes. You know, I'm a geographer. That's why I'm giving it to you. You are a journalist. You do justice to the word. You know, the president, when he was sworn in, he said something that Nigeria was going under. That we, Nigerians, we have to make a sacrifice. That he was going to remove subsidy, which he claimed subsidy was strangling the, you know, development. According to him, there were some cabals that the subsidy, whatever, was going, you know, straight to their pockets. And we Nigerians, we have to make a sacrifice that he's going to remove the subsidy. That once he did that, there is going to be improvement in infrastructure, there's going to be improvement transportation, there's going to be improvement electricity supply, there's going to be improvement in all other, you know, aspect of social amenities. This is 1 year. This is 1 year. Do I have to go into the details of what is actually going on?
But
It's a serious disappointment. You see, Nigerians, I really give it to Nigerians. When the president said that, they believed him. Because when the subsidy was removed and the president, you know, came out and said, okay, please, bear with me. This is just a sacrifice. It's just for the, because there's going to be, the market is going to be open. There's going to be competition. The market forces will work, whereby, you know, the business people will be given opportunity, so that by the time there is a free, you know, playing ground, the prices of fuel will come down. That was the promise. And he promised other things, like there's going to be the CNG within the very possible time. You know, a lot of promises were made. And look at it, Nigerians cannot put food in their tables. Nigerians cannot go to work. In some states, it's official that you go to work just 3 times
yes,
a week. because they know what they are giving you is not even enough for transportation. It's not enough. I don't know who is deceiving who. You are giving somebody a minimum wage of 30,000, and you know his transport fare for that month is maybe 1,000 per day, and you are still expecting that person to work for you. Who's deceiving who? So it's not adding up.
Okay, but now, all of these things you've mentioned, are we all going to wrap it up in one bag and stone it at the current president? Because, I mean, it's a long road. There have been people before him. Yes, he has been at the corridors at some point, but he has never been the commander in chief, right? So, and some people might want to say these things take time. I mean, it's just 1 year and few weeks thereabout, and was it not in May we celebrated 1 year of his tenure? So, is it possible that he can achieve all of these things, make us happy and satisfied in barely 1 year? Because some of the I wouldn't call it excuses. Now, some of the reasons they've been given is that the road to struggle, the road to a better life, always comes at a price. And so, when decisions are made like this, there are people who are going to fight against it. There are systems that are going to fight against it. And of course, just this morning, we saw the headlines that says that he might be reshuffling his cabinet. Some ministers would have to go. Don't you think that he's at least trying?
Well, leadership is by example. You have asked people to make a sacrifice. What sacrifice are you making? Is it making a sacrifice by doing what they're doing? Buying, living a flamboyant life while citizens are dying? Is this the sacrifice the president is asking us to do? Look at the just concluded Vice President mansion, about 21 billion naira. The yacht of the president, the whatever of the first lady, the 70 billion cars being bought to the legislatures. All this is not making sense, because when you ask your citizens to sacrifice and you are not making a sacrifice, you'll make them to lose hope in the system. As it is, the citizens have lost hope in the system, because it's a system whereby the governed are actually the only people that are enjoying, at the detriment of the governed. So it's not making sense at all. So it's not about, like you have said, it's not about being patient any longer. This is about trust issue. We have elected leaders, and they have made promises, and they are not living the promises they have made.
All right.
So it's not about that the Nigerians should be patient about the policies. The policies are clear. Most of these policies are anti-citizens policies. It's not the first time. During the Babangida regime, there was a structural adjustment program. During this regime, it's the same structural adjustment programs under renewed hope agenda. There is structural adjustment. It's all about, government withdrawing from helping its citizens. That's all about it. All these Bretton Woods policies are anti-citizens, and maybe they can only work. They may work in a corrupt, free societies. Are we corrupt free? You cannot.
So you agree that those ideas might not be entirely anti-citizen, but it could work in a better system.
Yeah, it could work in a better system. There's a loophole. That's why they are not working.
What's the loophole?
But yeah, the corruption, and the way the people, the flamboyant spending by the elected officials.
So
it can work in a very free, corrupt society. it can work. But
Okay.
unless we have free corrupt society, all these policies cannot work.
It's great when you single out our elected leaders, the executive, for the
Yeah.
things that have not gone right. But they are not the only ones who make up the democratic system. We have judiciary and we have the legislature as well. What is your assessment of their performance so far?
So far, there is a connivance between the judiciary arm of government, the legislature, and the executive of government. That is my belief.
What sort of connivance?
You see, it has never been so worst like this time around when elections are decided in courtrooms. You'll go spend your time, spend your energy, canvass for support, and you may end up winning election. But that will be decided in a courtroom. The executives will always give orders to judiciary on what to do. That is obviously what has been happening recently in our democratic process. The legislatures, which are supposed to, checkmate the executives, look at just what happened. What do they call this thing? This infiltration of budget to padding. Look at the padding of 3-point-something trillion. That a whistleblower. Have you ever seen a senator become a whistleblower? Have you ever seen it to this time? A sitting senator is the whistleblower, but he ended up being suspended. He ended up being suspended. And I know a lot of civil society groups have made effort to, work with this senator in trying to continue with the struggle. But at a point in time, even the senator, decided to back up. That is my belief. And now he has been reinstated. So a senator has become a whistleblower, and he ended up being suspended from. And have you heard anything from the presidency
Some people
about this scandal?
Some people might want to argue that he probably blew the whistle, maybe because maybe his constituency did not benefit from that pardon process.
Yeah, it's one of that's what people are now beginning to believe, that okay, if this is struggle for the people, that there's this pardon. If it's not because you have not been, compensated, maybe he has just been given the 500 million, because that one they have ascertained it, that they have been given 500 million. No, they have ascertained it. You have seen it too. Maybe apart from
For
the 500 million
projects.
yes, one of his complaints was that there are some senators that got maybe 20, 60, 40, even 200 billion in their constituencies, and he got only 2-something billion. That was what started it, and it has now become to the interest of the general public, and some people took it up. But the senator was not there for some of these civil society groups and activists, opinion leaders, to really canvass support so that the issue should be a national issue, and those claims to be checked. There was no momentum for that. So.
Okay, so before we connect to our second guest, I would want you to speak on where are we when it comes to our human rights as a people? I mean, Democracy Day. Where are we as a people when it comes to our human rights? And also, you've mentioned a couple of issues. Can we talk about way forward?
You see, for me, way forward is one way, and the only way. We have to make democratic process less lucrative. The reason why these politicians are doing what they are doing, using hooligans, even to some extent, kill people, going to the extreme to get into position, is because democracy is lucrative. Democracy to our politicians is not a service, but a very lucrative business. They invest their resources, and with the hope that when they get there, they get profit. That is what is going on. It's not democracy. Unfortunately, this is Democracy Day, but it's not democracy we are actually experiencing. It's not democracy. It's a business venture where people invest their money with the hope to get some profit. So we have to make democratic, not lucrative. If you invest, let's say, 10 million during your electioneering process and whatever, you are not sure that you make maybe 15 million or even that 10 million. It's the only way that these unscrupulous politicians that have taken the destiny of the people since 1999 is the only way that you can make them relax. They will never relax. What we have now is a crop of those politicians and their proxies still leading us. And it's because they have made the system too expensive. To contest elections in this country is capital intensive. You even be ridiculed if you come out to contest without. So we have now come to the level where the politicians are not happy with the citizens that are electing them, and the citizens that are not happy with the politicians. Because the politicians too, they know, even if you are in office, all the money you might be siphoning, 80% of it, you have to keep it for re-election. So the politicians too are not happy with the people. The people are not happy with the politicians. So the system is not working. Nobody is happy with everybody.
So what do we do to a system that is not working?
We have to change it.
To what?
Make it not lucrative.
Okay.
If what's the salary of senators now per month? About 30 million or more.
Excluding allowances?
Yes.
Hardship allowance.
No, okay, there is one hardship again. I never know that one. Which hardship are they going through? I never know that one. You have to, let's say for a senator, let's change the system. Look at it, what is happening now. In South Africa, they have just concluded election. They got about 400 legislatures. And it's within these legislatures that they will now come and elect their president. It's not, running for presidency in Nigeria that somebody will tell you, look, if you know you don't have people that will sponsor you with maybe 100 billion, don't even start it. It is now that they will now elect the president. The legislatures among them will elect president and vice president. So it's making the system less lucrative. And let's say all these legislatures are going to work on temporary basis. That they'll come when they are sitting, they sit, they will be given accommodation allowance and transport allowances of maybe per sitting not less than 200,000, and they should be sitting, let's say, twice a month or thrice, depending on the need. You can see how
Do you think that will be effective in terms of delivering the dividends of democracy?
It will be, because it will restore confidence in the system. People that have what it takes to give will now start contesting. It's my belief that there are more good Nigerians than the bad ones. But the good ones are not given the opportunity to showcase.
Okay.
So once you make the system not lucrative, these are the people that strangle the system, they will give way for the good ones to come. And you see the changes.
All right. It has been an interesting conversation, Balarabe Rufai. And our second guest is actually on standby. He's joining us all the way from the US. And he is a strong advocate when it comes to good governance and making sure that our leaders do the right thing. And it's one thing to you mentioned advocacy, you mentioned activists, you mentioned people who try to ask the right questions and question whatever is not working well. He is among one of those persons who try to hold leadership and governance accountable, yes, and then make sure that they do the right thing. He is God Bless Otubore. He is the global president of Ready to Lead Africa. Good morning, God bless.
Hello, Mr. God bless. Can you hear us? Good morning to you.
Okay, I think we're trying to get him on the line. Okay. Hello, God bless. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Okay, I think while we're trying to sort that out, we'll just go on a very short break. This is, I mean, you cannot talk about Nigeria's democracy without mentioning the former president, Goodluck, Olusegun
Obasanjo.
Obasanjo. So let us, in this very short video, let's look at the impact of democracy from the eye of the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo.
Many of Obasanjo's antagonists have argued that the president was on a revenge mission to nullify his opponents, especially the northerners who were a majority in the Nigerian armed forces. On the other side, the president was said to have taken the action in order to preempt his opponents, as the loyalty of the military to the president was vital to the new government of Obasanjo. Among the about 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria, only 3 groups, the Hausa Fulani in the north, the Igbo people in the southeast, and the Yoruba in the southwest, take a chunk of the nation's population. Nigeria has had a history of its own military coup d'etat since its first in January 1966, and Obasanjo would have wanted to stem that by flushing out the bad eggs in the nation's armed forces. However, the real reason President Obasanjo sacked these officers was not known until 18 years later in 2017, while celebrating his 80th birthday in Abuja. Obasanjo remarked that the military he met then as president would have created more problems for the country, and the democracy that ushered in the Fourth Republic would not have lasted to produce more presidents after him. What Obasanjo was literally saying was that leaving this set of officers in office would have resulted in another military coup, thereby truncating the nation's young democracy. To Obasanjo, a coup is a treason only punishable by death if it fails. Nevertheless, it puts the plotter and his cronies in the State House if successful. The former president, who himself was a beneficiary of a coup, asserted that the practice was destructive and destabilizing, even wasteful for the military itself in terms of finance and resources. A military coup, according to Obasanjo, would undermine the institution in terms of discipline, good order, and military conduct. So, when Obasanjo assumed office as president, he asked the military to submit the list of every officer who had either participated in a coup or benefited from it through appointments to political offices as ministers or governors. Oblivious of what the list was meant for, the military acceded to Obasanjo's request and quickly submitted the names, 93 in all. Immediately, all the officers were given a 6-hour notice of retirement on a Friday with a presidential order of not spending the night in a uniform or in barracks, or else they would face the consequences. On Monday, June 14, 1999, the Service Council then met to ratify the retirement of the affected officers. To Obasanjo, an officer out of his uniform and the barracks is without power and influence, like a fish out of its water. The president then went ahead to appoint Lieutenant General Victor Malu as head of the army, Vice Admiral Victor Umbu as head of the Navy, and Air Marshal Isaac Alpha as head of the Air Force. Thus, Obasanjo's action as commander-in-chief ensured the military's loyalty to the federal government and the survival of democracy in the country, even to this day.
My name is also.
My name is Ima Ehumadu, aka La Pista.
My name is DK, aka Mama Chinedu. Keep watching Rapid TV.
You are watching Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV.
Hey, Rapid TV, Carigo.
The biggest, the finest, the only Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Yes, keep watching.
Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
This is me giving a rapid response to Rapid TV.
In just 365 days, Governor Alex Oti's administration has turned promises into progress in Abia State. From revitalizing road infrastructures to healthcare facility upgrades, from payment of 9 years outstanding pension to executing daring projects and initiatives, all in a bid towards a newer, modern and cleaner Abia State. To immerse yourself in the new Abia, poised for a brighter future in God's own state, join Rapid TV for an exclusive 1-hour documentary that highlights the impact that has been felt across Abia State in the last 1 year by the Oti administration.
All right, welcome back. We're still right here having our June 12th special. And of course, we were trying to connect with our second guest, which is joining us all the way from the US. And but while we are sorting that out, we still have Balarabe Rufai right here. And I was just asking him, among all the elected presidents we've had, from 1999, from Obasanjo till date, which would you say is your favorite, and who would you say have really done well for Nigeria?
Well, I will start with President Umar Musa Yar'Adua of his blessed memory. I want to believe so far, even though he was short-lived, but I really admire his sincerity of purpose. The only president, you know, Nigerians, one of our blessed commodities is the oil, the petroleum. The only president that reduced the price of the petroleum in the interest of. And look at the Niger Delta, the amnesty program. He was the one that did it. He did a lot of good things which have national outlook, not really for him. When he was asked that, okay, we are going to build a house for you, and he said, no, he don't want it. All this flamboyant life these people are doing now, he was out of it all. He was short-lived. His sincerity of purpose. The second one is the Oga Kotokota, or Oga Obasanjo. You know, he really ruled well. He was in charge. Buhari was never in charge.
And why is that?
I don't know. Some people are saying, I don't want to say it. He was my president.
Say it.
You know, some people are saying he doesn't have it upstairs.
Oh.
Some people are saying, you know, it's because of old age. Some people are saying it's because, you know, he's such a person that is very indifferent and nonchalant about any other thing apart from what really concerns him. A lot of things. I don't know which one to take. But obviously, he was not in charge. Then, you know, I really love President Goodluck Jonathan because he has a good heart.
But
a good heart. Very nice, you know, loving president. But, you know, sometimes it's carrot and stick. The carrots in him too much. Yes, but he meant well. And he's a good man, and he loved, look at the way he just decided to give in. Because people surrounded him. that no, it's not yet time. He said no, let it be. And look at it now.
Do you
When you compare him with President Buhari, the kind of image they have now in the international community, the kind of image they have now, even within the country. If you want to, I don't know, I'll not say it, but you two, you have to do some kind of rating.
There are some questions.
But personally, his own is more than that of Buhari.
Okay, but there are some questions coming up from some Nigerians saying that if only the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, had at least fought a little to, to get that power, to maintain that power, maybe we would not have experienced some of the things we experienced under the former president, Muhammadu Buhari.
No, what he did was the best. Yes, it was the best decision he ever took in his life. It could have been catastrophic. That time, Nigerians were like, we have had enough of insecurity, and Jonathan was not doing well. And Buhari, a former general, is now, that was the main thing that got Buhari elected. A former general with all his experience, or let him come and restore peace and stability.
But then again, did that address all the security concerns that we had?
Yes, that was the major thing that made Nigerians.
No, do you think he addressed security under his?
He didn't. It even became worse. In some states, hitherto, there were no. That's what, if we are to learn lesson as Nigerians, we should learn from the presidency of Muhammadu Buhari. One lesson we should learn: it must not be my own son, because this is one of our problems. It has to be my son. It has to be Yoruba. It has to be Igbo. It has to be Hausa. Okay, now, the Katsina people, your own have gotten it. What do you have now? 26 local governments under siege. People cannot go to the farm. Even during the Stone Age, when people are living in the mountains and all that, you cannot just go and pick one of their own and go. It never happened in the history of the world. What is happening now? You go somewhere, leave your family, somebody will go and pack them. Went into the bush. And this bush, he's not going to Jupiter or Pluto or something. No, he's within around, and he's even known. And you are asked of money that they know you don't have, even the entire village you don't have. This is too barbaric. So this is one of the lessons, that it shouldn't be one of my own. Because if it has to be my own, and Buhari has been there, and look what the Katsina people are now living, it shouldn't be. It should be about merit. It should be about trust. Even though Buhari was trusted.
Was he?
That what brought him.
Was he trusted?
So yeah, he was trusted. He was trusted. It was based on trust.
I mean, looking at his antecedents when he was in the military era.
It was trust. So we are learning lessons. Democracy is growing. If we agree, it's the best system. If we agree, it's the best system.
You think we're making progress in terms of democracy?
So it is growing. It is growing. If we believe it is the best.
You don't agree that it's the best?
No, I'm talking as a Nigerian, and it's a system that we Nigerians feel.
No, let's talk about you now as a person. You as a person who is also in leadership in some form. You as a person who would love to be part of our leaders in a different capacity. You as a person, do you think that democracy isn't the best, or you think that this democracy has not served us well, and which other one would you want us to opt for?
Definitely, it has not served us well. Definitely, you know it. And the question whether it's the best system or not, like I've said, it's more of an attitude. Whatever system. What China's system is operating? what system China is operating. Is it democracy? Or is it halfway socialist, halfway democracy? But I know India is democracy, the largest democracy. I believe whatever system we are operating, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. We don't believe in this country. We more like believe in our regions as it is now. We have to believe this is Nigeria, and this is the largest population of black people in the world. We have to know that we are the hope of not only Africa, of the world as a black nation. By 2050, we are going to be the third largest population in the world. China, India, and Nigeria. We're going to be about 350 million people. So I don't understand why people, are detesting the fact that we're Nigerians. I don't know what the problem with it. The problem is not the country, but the leadership. Let's just change it. Put our sentiments aside. Change the system. It's the system that's the problem. Like I've said, I have to repeat it. Once it is not lucrative, it will bring social, economic justice. But as long as it is lucrative, nothing will change. So let's just work towards changing the system. I have seen some, submission of bills in the House of the floor of the House of Rep.
Yes.
Bringing a new system of government.
Talking
by
about
our friend,
single tenure of six.
by our friend Ikenga, representing Imo, a young man. But in that way, there are a lot of constitutional amendments that must take place, which I don't. Constitutional amendments have to carry 2/3 of the total House of Assembly, and most of the House of Assembly members are puppets of the governor. So the governors are there. The governors cabal is there. So I don't know whether they like it or whether they allow it. But in any time in history of of the world or in life, there is always a moment where something will happen that will bring people together. I pray that that thing will happen to our great nation, that will bring people together to take one single decision that will be to the benefit of the entire citizens without putting religion or tribal, sectional sentiments into it. By the time we have that, I'm very sure Nigeria will be a different place. It will be a better place. I'm very optimistic that can happen. I have seen it in my lifetime happen, but it didn't go well because of some reasons. But I'm sure, I'm praying that that kind of thing will happen sooner.
All right, thank you so much. As we wrap up, now that's my question at the beginning that you did not answer. Do you intend to contest again?
Wow.
I mean, so you can give us the kind of democracy that we're looking for. Give your people that.
Well, you see, I resigned my job as assistant director from a town planning authority in my state, Kano. I have been a youth activist for quite some time, and I felt activism is not enough. So let's just participate in the real politics. So, I couldn't get a ticket from the so-called big parties. So my party, I agree, the ADC, African Democratic, is also big because it's Africa. So I contested under it. I contested for Senate, Kano Central. But sincerely speaking, it's a very bad experience because
you experienced during the elections?
Yes, because what I've seen is people are not after when you have a meeting with, let's say, 10 groups, 8 to 9 of the groups, if you are trying to showcase your manifesto, what are the problems and what are the solutions. They are not listening to you. All they are waiting for is, okay, what is their transport to go back home? So at a point in time, there is this my professor. I went to him. He taught me in the university. I complained to him that, sir, I want to withdraw. This is what is happening. So he told me a story also of his a professor friend who wanted to contest like me. And he went to his house, and they were sitting. That he got some people who came from his local government to see him. They were together with that my professor. So after the whole thing, he brought out his wallet. He wanted to give them transport. So he asked him, "Are you bringing wallet to give them transport? You don't have any Ghana must go somewhere?" He said, "No, I don't have." He said, "So, Prof, please leave this thing. You cannot do it." It's only transport. No, you cannot do it. These people, they are almost 100 people. You cannot give them no less than 500,000. He said, so the thing is, he said, okay, I think I will withdraw.
Okay.
So it's not about what you want to do. It's about what you want to give, but it's also a good experience at the same time, because even from my own side, I've seen some of the leakages.
Okay.
I now understand you can do more of structural coordination in terms of social media campaigns. You can do more of you can sample some opinion leaders that you feel once they talk on behalf of you, you can go to a larger extent instead of you moving around because of the logistics. So I have gained a lot of experience. Okay. So inshallah, I'll contest again.
No problem. I think our guest is on. Let's have. Good morning. God bless. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, fantastic. We can hear you. God bless Otubore right here joining us and on our June 12th special. He is the global president ready to lead Africa. And it's so good to have you join us. I'm sure it's very early over there, or late. Which of them?
It is 4 a.m. or about here in Washington, D.C. Yes.
All right. Happy Democracy Day. It's June 12th.
Oh, yes, it is June 12th. I don't know if we're happy about it.
Okay, that's a great way to start. So tell us, what do you think is the feeling and atmosphere of the people talking about Democracy Day? It's 25 years of uninterrupted democracy. How would you describe it? How have we fared so far as a people?
Well, I mean, so the word is, it's not been truncated. It's been ongoing. So there's some room to say, okay, maybe we are open to practicing this way of self-government. But for the kind of expectations that we have and the level of civilization that we have experienced, we definitely should be doing better compared to where we are today. But again, 25 years is not too long a time in history to perfect something in a way that we can compare with other democracies in the world. So, but of course, we're not where Nigerians expect to be. Again, I'm not pointing fingers. It is a collective responsibility, and a larger failure of the lack of understanding of what the concept of self-government is. I was listening to the guest that you have in the studio, and he was talking about his experience when he ran for office, and that happened because you have an electorate that is far removed from the concept of democracy and what it really means. Unlike before, where you would have a lot of, excitement and people are anticipating to listen to the president and speak, and people are talking about the vitality of participation, of ideas, but that has not been the mood today. But again, it is again another testament that there is the knowledge that not where we want to be, saying that we understand there's a problem, and the commitment to fixing it must now be the next continued direction of our collective action.
All right, God bless. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, you mentioned about people being interested to hear what the president would have to talk about on a day like this. So I wouldn't know if you found time to listen to the president's speech today and what you made of his comments.
So I mean, when the president was speaking, it was about 2 a.m. or about here to watch it. I was able to watch it, but I mean, I've been trying to get snippets of it. Haven't seen it yet, but I know that there was a part where he said they broke bread with labor. I don't know what that means, but again, if it was very, maybe inspiring and had a lot of good points, probably would have been trending. But I clearly haven't seen anything on X, and haven't also. But I've seen like the full text. I was about reading that, but we had a challenge connecting and getting the audio fixed. I just wanted to continue to fix the audio, not distracted by it. But I mean, I would get a chance to watch it again.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned labor, because he did talk about that and the fact that so far in the negotiations and deliberations for a new minimum wage, the fact that his government have not intimidated, have not pressurized unduly or victimized labor, and the fact that it's been more of a collaboration and cooperation between both parties so far. So I wouldn't know if you've been following the whole back and forth between labor, how much that labor are demanding, and how much that government said they want to pay. From your perspective, I mean, would you like to speak to that whole minimum wage discussion?
I don't know if you can hear me very well, but your audio was breaking. If he did say that there was no pressure on labor, that's commendable. But again, labor, the minimum wage conversation is just one issue that Nigerians face today as a people. We have a plethora of other issues that I believe he may have spoken to, which I will get to a bit much later.
Okay, let's now speak on June 12th and Democracy Day. At the beginning, you did say that there isn't much to be celebrated. I mean, a child of 25 years acting the way Nigeria is acting, we would probably say the child is not growing, or we would say the child is not developing properly. If we are to, do the comparison right now. So, I mean, you are a person who is at the forefront of making sure that there is good governance and things are done the way it's supposed to be done. How would you, I mean, looking at our president from 1999 to 2024, do you think that we've had the best of leaders? Do you think that the democracy is favoring us? And what would you suggest if it's not favoring us?
Okay, so I would say this has been very difficult to hear you smoothly. I did not hear the question. I heard,
okay, can you hear me?
Like a child or not, and then it just kept breaking. So, is there any other way we can fix this audio?
Okay, maybe I have to take it step by step.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so maybe I have to take it step by step.
A bit more slowly, perhaps.
it's not about being slow. It's the fact that it's just breaking in between. So I don't get the question.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying that 25 years. Who would you say has been? Do you think democracy has favored us in 25 years? And who would you say has been our the best leader from 1999 till now?
Okay, let me try and say that again if it's correct. Are you saying after 25 years, is democracy our best form of government moving forward? Is that a question?
Yeah,
Yes.
correct.
Okay. My response to you will be informal. It's not been practiced the way it should, but what are the alternatives? Right? The alternative that are available to you is a monarchical system where you have a king, or the military regime where you have the military running the government, or I don't know if you have any other one you want to use. Democracy is not the problem. It is the practitioners that's the problem. Democracy as a concept is the best form of government that free men, I'll use the word, free men, and by men I mean both man and woman, that free men has as a form of government that the world has seen, has guaranteed the freedom of not just the human spirit, but of enterprise and of goodwill. The people who practice it, however, sometimes determine whether it is going to be the type that delivers on its promise or not. There are no better alternative to democracy. So I would say that the question is not if the best form, because we don't have a preferred alternative really. So we should say, how can we prepare Nigerians better enough to practice democracy? Then we will turn our attention to the right issue. Because right now, when you start asking the question, is democracy the right form of government? It's a conspiracy to detract us from what the real problem is. It's not the concept of government, it's the people who are practicing it.
Okay, and so what can the people do rightly? I mean, so that we can start enjoying the dividends of democracy.
Correct. Absolutely. Because again, if you look, it's simple. If you conduct an election where you allow the people vote and their vote count, ordinarily, naturally, the will of the people will prevail. Accountability will be more, because then the people will feel like we elected this government. The government will know that it derives its power from the people and then be more accountable to them. But if you rig an election, or if you rig elections, or if you practice unfair election, where people rig, where people vote more than once, where you can bribe the election umpire, right? Where people can go to court and get judgments that are beyond human reasoning, then it is not democracy that's the problem, it is the people. So the minute you start doing the right thing, you get the right result. You know, democracy is not science, but it has a scientific side to it. So, and that is what Nigerians must understand. And honestly, it is a product of the lack of citizenship, the lack and understanding of what it means to practice democracy. And generally, you have a population that has been starved of quality education that cannot interpret the meaning of self-government. So like the guest said, in climes where you have a working system, the people contribute. The former president of the United States was convicted as a felon, but because of the freedom to choose, his campaign raised $35 million off the conviction, even though that in itself is crazy. You have current president's team bombarding everybody every day to say donate $1, $2, $5. You know what? Because they need to be accountable to you. And we've said it many times. The day Nigerians stop collecting money from politicians to vote for them, to campaign for them, and the day we start contributing our money so that people can win elections, that is when we will start practicing democracy in the way it should be. You cannot demand from where you have not invested. It is like a business. Shareholders will ask for profit. If you are not a shareholder and all you do is just you have an account in a bank, you can't ask for profit, right? So Nigerians are asking for a different kind of profit when all their investment really is citizenship. But beyond citizenship, you need to act like a shareholder, which is you will contribute your money, you would invest your time, you would attend meetings, you would hold the CEO accountable, you will go. So it is that relationship that determines the vitality of democracy.
Okay, so as we wrap up, right, God bless, you talked about accountability, citizens' participation, and the likes, which now brings me to one of the pillars of democracy, human rights. Do you think that when it comes to human rights, we are there? Because, we've seen situations whereby citizens try to agitate, citizens try to ask questions, and sometimes, look at what happened during the NSAS when people were protesting for something, and some people were detained.
I really can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me?
Okay, maybe you need to, if there's a way you can maybe just stay somewhere where the thing doesn't shake. I don't know, but.
Okay, so can you hear me now? Maybe if I stay like this, can you hear me now?
Okay, maybe a bit slower and less, not very loud, might be the trick.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Correct, I can hear you now, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was talking about human rights. Because you did mention citizens' participation, citizens asking the right questions. So which brings us to one of the 5 pillars of democracy, which is human rights. And do you think that the human rights of citizens are being respected? Looking at the case of the NSAS, which some persons, it is said that some persons are still detained.
Did you say NSAS?
Yes, the NSAS.
What did you ask? What was the question?
Okay,
so people did what?
So the question is, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the question is, when it comes to our human rights and citizens getting themselves involved and asking the right questions, do you think that we are in that space for it, looking at what happened during the NSAS?
Okay, let me try because I didn't get the final point. It just keeps coming in and cutting. Are you saying that did we get participation right with NSAS?
No, I'm talking about our human rights. Maybe your voice will be slower, Ugo.
She was talking about human rights as one of the pillars of democracy and how well we fared with regards to that, especially considering the fact that we have some people who participated in the NSAS who are even still locked up till now.
Oh my God. This is really difficult.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that what we would do is, because there are a whole lot of things we have to talk about with God bless, but due to he's not unable to hear us very well, so maybe we're going to still have this conversation again, but we would have to wrap it up right now and get some things fixed, and then we'll have you again.
I mean, I honestly think that, but it's. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, is it possible that maybe you could maybe connect me to your audio on your WhatsApp, and that might help me better?
Okay. So maybe we would schedule that for probably tomorrow. We would have to eat into your morning again.
Because our time for the program is up.
Because again, it's
Is it morning in the US?
it's a little
now?
bit different.
Yeah, it's about 4 a.m. thereabout.
Maybe your colleague can try.
Actually, our time for the show is up, so we have to run, but would really appreciate if you could make out time for us again, maybe tomorrow morning. I think you did hear that.
All right, God bless. Thank you so much. It would have been an interesting conversation if he could hear us very smoothly. That was God bless Otubere, and he's the global president ready to lead Africa. And I mean, final words from you, Balarabe. You heard everything he said, even though it wasn't exactly perfect from here, but you did hear everything he said. Let's have your final words as we wrap up.
He has spoken very well. I love to see, my generation having passion and leadership. Like I've said, it's not about democracy. It's about practicing it.
All right.
Like I've also said, it's about our attitude. So we need to change our attitude. 25 years, we have learned a lot of lessons. Like I've said, it should not be my son. It should not be that anymore. It should not be my tribe. It should not be my region. It should not be that, because we have seen it.
Yeah.
It's not making any value to you.
All right.
Let's go for merit. Let's go for people that have the passion of the country, and even if you do, we still have the capacity to deliver. We have to look at the antecedents of our candidates, and again, it's very important as citizens. We need to, because the system is not working as it is. We need to come together, passion out whatever we feel will be better for us.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Balarabe Rufai, for joining us on the conversation this beautiful June 12th morning. I mean, we are so happy to have you. You can see from our smiles.
Thank you very much for having me. It has been an honor and privilege.
All right. And that's the much we can take on the show this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us from 7 till this time. I'm really happy you welcome us into your space. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Don't forget that you can follow us and join the conversation on all our social media platforms on Facebook and on Instagram. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can visit our website on
www.arabianradiotv.com. Gochukwu Madimere is my name.